Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video where sister was talking about how these people are so good at rage baiting black people, and someone was also talking about how racist these people are not as ignorant as we think they are. Most times, majority of the things they are doing are kind of calculated. Sometimes you see them act very ignorant, and you think maybe they do not understand or know what they are doing. They actually know what they are doing. And I remember back then, because sometimes I feel like, how can a sensible person like behave this way? And black people told me that when they show you who they are, that is exactly who they are. That whatever that I am trying to camouflage for them, or probably trying to make excuse for them, is just on your own. And if you go back and forward and listen carefully or think carefully, that thing is 100% correct. That thing is 100% correct. And then, you all remember Sweeney adverts that came around and all that was very problematic. One thing I am going to say is that even if you are a black person and you did not find that ad offensive, you are also part of the problem. You can say it's offensive, but I don't care. I understand, but saying it is not offensive, you are part of the problem. And the fact that these same people are the people that will tell you that they have black fatigue. But you know what? Let's get into this video.
The left is overreacting over this Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. Are they? Because I don't think that they are. Guys, everybody on this screen right now, they're not Nick Fuentes disciples. They aren't the KKK. These are run-of-the-mill Trump supporters that I come across swiping through my FYP every day. And they are openly talking about how they are proud to be white, okay? And this has been happening over the last 6 months. It used to be white pride, which we all knew what that meant, and it has slowly evolved into, hey, if you get to be proud, then so can I. And then after this, they started taking the phrase black fatigue, which initially was a phrase to express how tiresome it is to live in a country where you are constantly made to feel unwelcome. And now white Trump supporters have taken that phrase and they have adopted it for themselves to mean, guys, I'm just tired of living around black people, and that's okay. Just openly justifying in-your-face racism. And at this point, if you come across any video here on TikTok where a black person is involved in any confrontation, whether it's an argument, actually, it doesn't even need to be a confrontation. They can just be dancing on a cruise ship. And if you look at the comment section, you will see plenty of people saying, black fatigue is real. If the comment section's still up, sometimes these people have to turn off the comment section because there's such abundant racism. And now we have a segregated whites-only town happening in Arkansas with plenty of Trump supporters on this app vehemently defending it. Saying, hey, if you get to have black graduation, then we can have white-only towns. Even though that's going to be the most boring fucking place on the planet. This rise in the justification of in-your-face racism has been swelling on the internet for the last 6 months. And so when the left sees big companies like American Eagle and Dunkin' Donuts march out their hot white people to talk about how great their jeans are, yeah, that's massively fucking creepy. And what sucks is this is a great marketing strategy for companies right now. We saw this with Target. As soon as they got rid of their pride section, suddenly all these right-wingers started going to Target again. And now MAGA comment sections are full of people saying, I've never been to American Eagle, but I'm going to start going now. So I guess it's an effective strategy for these companies to start leaning away from inclusivity. And companies like that should not get our business. So it's absolutely justified the reaction from the left. All right, guys, this is just my perspective as a white guy, what I've seen on here. So I'd love to hear from people who are not white about what you guys have been seeing and running into in the last 6 months. Because I think if people understood the political climate that we're in right now, it would begin to make sense why that Sydney Sweeney ad is so deeply problematic. All right, that's my take. I love you guys. I'll see you down in the comments. Thank you for making it this far. Love you. See you down there.
TikTok, what's up? It's your girl, Melania Mattel, and let's talk real quick because the Sydney Sweeney thing is just given delusional. Let me tell you something. It's a difference between insecurity and confidence, okay? Insecurity is loud. It's always the loudest in the room. Confidence is quiet. Confidence is like wealth. It's quiet. It doesn't say anything. It's just there. It's just in its existence. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for Sydney to try to really even be okay with doing this ad, first of all, why would you want to be the object of attention for men? Baby, once you turn 30, they lose interest. Once you turn 35, you're done. They will never go to bat for you forever and ever. You're the it girl until you're like 18 or 21, and then they move on. I'm not about to be the target of anyone's affection, attention, the it girl for no man. If I want to be an it girl for people, I would choose to be the it girl for women, especially black women. And you know what's even sadder is you would never see Margot Robbie. You would never see Julia Roberts. You would never see Scarlett Johansson, top tier, beautiful YTE women do an ad like that. Why? Because they don't cater to the masses. They don't cater to ignorance. These women are beautiful. They know that they're beautiful. And to me, Scarlett Johansson and Margot Robbie, they capitalize off of their beauty, but they don't exploit their beauty. Especially someone like Margot Robbie, who did the movie Barbie. She was very inclusive in that movie. Yes, she was. She was inclusive in the fact that she used bigger women, heavier women, older women, even black women, so that Barbie would not just have one look, one type. It was all types of Barbies in the movie Barbie, and she was very inclusive, and that was very intentional and very purposeful. I just don't know who Sydney Sweeney's PR agent is.
Morning, guys. Happy Monday. Well, I'm back again. Looks like we're outraged again, peeps. Yeah, much to my surprise, we out here spazzing out again. Yeah. So this time, we are so outraged and all up in arms over a blue jean commercial. Yeah. We are spazzing out over a plain Jane, Simple Simon, blue jean commercial. Yeah. It's being reported that the black community is just going ham on the fact that some brand name, American Eagle, Bald Eagle, somebody Eagle brand of blue jeans, had hired this chick named Sydney Sweeney. And the commercial, it's just a humdrum commercial. I mean, I saw a clip and I was like, okay. But they did this commercial where it says, Sydney has great jeans. And evidently that threw us into such a tailspin that the white conservatives are coming together and they're just going, oh, the black people are just going all out. They're so racist. Just because they said she has great genes, they're out here just up revolting and, yada, yada, yada. Well, and supposedly because we reacted that way, it boosted the sales up they were just, so grateful that we were, because our outrage was boosting their sales. Okay. Well, update. Sydney Sweeney, who's featured in this magazine, supposed to be what, most beautiful woman in the world or something. That's what they're trying to tag it as. Well, she had a movie to come out because, supposedly her community, they all gathered around and they all supported when the sales went through the roof, and she had all this backing. Well, the same young lady had a movie to come out over the weekend called Americana. It came out this weekend all over the nation, and it grossed in revenue from this one weekend. It grossed $540,000. Yeah. It grossed 540,000. You heard me, 1,000 with a T. Over the entire weekend in every theater across the nation. Yeah. Yeah, they supported her ass right to $540,000. Oh, I ain't through. I ain't through. An Eagle, Bald Eagle, American Eagle, whatever the name brand it was for the clothing line, which, you know, they were saying the sales were going through the roof. Well, the numbers came out from one of their busiest seasons, which is back to school, right? Everybody knows how back to school goes, right? Well, it looks like their numbers came in, you know, from back to school sales right this time of the year. And it seems that their revenue is their revenue dropped a whopping 9%. So they dropped in sales. Despite them saying they were having record-breaking sales because, you know, of our negative reaction, of our racist reaction, that, you know, that they had record-breaking sales. We were actually boosting the sales. Okay, well, what are the numbers at? So why did they drop 9% at the most busiest time of the year for retail, which is back to school? See, this is the part where you have to think things through. First and foremost, black people didn't give a damn about no Sydney Sweeney in some baggy ass, tied ass looking jeans. We don't dress in that style. When we wear our blue jeans have a different look. And you know, they even threw Beyonce into this. It was some white chick that was spazzing out over this so-called outrage from us. And so she called herself getting in and just, you know, going ham on beat. You know, calling her out, calling her hair fake, and she walking around here with these wigs. Why don't she go old natural and yada, 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 right? Honey, Beyonce, Cowboy Carter tour, with her fake ass, as she put it. How come she just grossed record-breaking revenue, outperforming, out-generating any other country music star in history? Yeah. Beyonce's revenue from her Carter Cowboy tour had grossed a record-breaking amount of revenue from her tour. So let's get this right. Their girl, Sydney Sweeney, she couldn't even get folks to come to a movie theater to see her movie, debut her movie, but they are all up in arms over how supportive and how beautiful and everything, yada 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 yada. Then the people who were supposedly the people who created the jeans, the line, the clothing line, they were supposed to be making so much revenue. All of a sudden, it's been reported they dropped 9% in their sales. So what it seems like to me is the only way for white people to generate any attention or media presence is to lie and say black people are all up in arms and we're rage and we're hating and we're racist and, you know, we're just bitter people. Baby, didn't nobody give a damn about Sydney. Didn't nobody give a damn about them tied ass, baggy, look like old school janitors uniforms. Didn't nobody give a damn about that. No, but look, y'all gonna stop that these folks blow y'all mind up, coming out telling us what the black people are thinking and what the black people are saying. People like Piers Morgan, a white dude from over the pond somewhere, just a white ring commentator who claims he's not. But he was having a field day with this. Just going on and on. Anything rather than talk about the Epstein files, right, guys? But you know, I got a great idea on that. Hear me out. Since all these distractions, articles are coming out, taking over DC, going to see Putin, all this other stuff. Everything they're coming out now, they're just trying to draw a distraction from the Epstein file. So I say this is what we can do to just let them see their effort is going nowhere. Let's talk about every topic that comes up, but let's add a hashtag to every new so-called distraction topic. Every time they want us to talk about something else. Oh, you want us to talk about Sydney Sweeney? Okay, talk about her and do hashtag Jeffrey Epstein files. Oh, y'all want to talk about liberating DC? How he's releasing the National Guard in DC? Talk about it, but at the end say hashtag release Jeffrey Epstein files. Because when you get through everything you want to try to throw at us, we still gonna follow up with what about them Jeffrey Epstein files. Okay. Oh, and I got one thing that I'm saying. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna come back and make a video on this one too. But it is being reported that September the 3rd, some of Jeffrey Epstein victims will be going before Congress. And already Trump is already behind closed doors degrading them and demeaning them and calling them Democratic opportunists. I'll get back with you guys on that later. But I got to get out of here. I just got one thing to say, though. Before I get out of here, I just want to know, hey, Sydney, is great news yet?
What the heck is going on over at Lionsgate? Lionsgate just released Americana, a new Sydney Sweeney starring comedy crime movie in about 1,000 screens with absolutely no marketing. And shocker, it flopped. Coming from 1,100 screens, Americana is estimated to pull in under $1 million over the weekend, just $840,000, which has a per-screen average of under $500 per screen. Ouch. So while 1,000 screens is still considered a wide release, typically when we think of a wide release, your typical blockbuster, it'll get around 4,000 screens. But even so, with a fourth of the screens, Americana really should have easily cracked $1 million, especially with Sydney Sweeney, right? And this has attracted a lot of negative headlines for her, but honestly, I don't see a movie starring Sydney Sweeney flopping being the story here. The story here is what the heck is going on over at Lionsgate. Americana was picked up by Lionsgate in 2023, but 2024 and 2025 have been terrible years for Lionsgate. They seem to be dumping out movies with absolutely no marketing. I don't know about you, but I didn't see a single bit of promotional material for Americana. I only even knew this movie was coming out by looking at the Coming Soon page on IMDb. To give them some credit, Lionsgate this year did promote the heck out of Ballerina, but this movie was not profitable in its theatrical frame and was actually considered a flop, which is a shame because I liked it. Here's an example of some Lionsgate 2024 movies. Do you see any box office successes here? No, the only one that was profitable was The Strangers Chapter 1, which actually was a pretty good financial success story. If Lionsgate refuses to market movies, then they are just going to get results like this one here. It's a shame because this movie does not seem to be hated. It seems to be at least decently liked. I know I wanted to see it this weekend, but it just wasn't playing on a screen that was close enough to me. Maybe Sydney Sweeney isn't exactly the box office draw that a lot of people think she is, but ultimately, for a flop like this, you can't blame her for that. Lionsgate really has to step it up and market their movies if they want anything to be a success. This is a shame that Lionsgate let this happen. Give me a follow to see what happened the rest of the weekend. I do Monday morning box office roundups, so Monday is when we will talk about how Weapons and Freakier Friday held, and how Nobody Saw Nobody 2.
It's the Sydney Sweeney economy, and we are living in it. All it comes down to is hot girl, brand, up and to the right. Hot girl, brand, up and to the right.
Yeah, that's cool. But anyway, Sydney Sweeney's first movie post bathwater sales and eugenics light ads grossed $460 per theater estimated. That is 16th place this weekend. It's funny because when you listen to the way that Jack talks about Sweeney, I think you see the entirety of how the right views women. He's talking about her. They view her as a prop for corporations to use, essentially a thoughtless blow-up doll for companies to have in front of their products for people to buy them. See, she has spent her entire career asking to be taken seriously as an actor. That is her profession. The thing is, when she shows up and acts, do any of the people who performatively bought American Eagle stock show up and watch her movie? Do they value what she has to give the world as an artist? No, they do not, and she's going to learn the hard way what happens when someone like her starts grifting. She will be useful to the right as long as she is perceived to be attractive enough and young enough, and then a new Sydney Sweeney will come along, and they will turn and give all their attention to that person, and they will mock Sweeney if she tries to stick around longer than they think she should. Someone like me, I watched her make Immaculate and really enjoyed it. I think she did good work. I watched her in Reality. I thought she was amazing. I thought that was good work. Funniest thing is, American Eagle is a dead company, right? These are the last 5 years. They tanked their stock already. This gave them like a $3 bump in stock price. It's meaningless. Then you start looking at the foot traffic data and they are getting slaughtered after this ad. To summarize, Sweeney hurt her own career to cater to people who don't care about her, to hurt a company that thought she would help them out. Let's ask Lionsgate and that estimated $460 per theater about how they're enjoying the Sydney Sweeney economy.
This is all I got from this video. Excuse me. And if you do not see anything wrong with that ads, you are very problematic, because that ads also is very problematic, like he said, and that is absolutely truth. And I am going to ask this. I thought I saw so many megas out there, especially in the comment section, during the time the ad was released, like they were hyping, being really, oh, you guys, you know, why did they not go out to support? Why didn't they go out to support? Because MAGAs thought that life evolves, like everything is all about them, not knowing that it's not as easy as they think. Why did it flop? Why did it flop? Sydney Sweeney, or whatever they call themselves. Ain't nobody telling you not to be proud of. What exactly are you even proud of? I am proud to be blue eye, blue jean, red dim, you know? I don't care, really. I don't care. The truth is that sometimes they try to rage bait black people. And I am sure they knew what they were doing when they did that ad, because anybody that knows something will absolutely see how problematic this thing was. They knew it was problematic, and they decided to also put it out. And then if you tell them, they'll tell you, why is it that I am not allowed as a white person to be proud of my heritage? Everyone else can, but I cannot. What heritage? When we talk about heritage, what heritage are you talking about? Because when you tell me the heritage, I will tell you what to be proud of, what not to be proud of. But what heritage are you talking about? See, sincerely speaking, I have MAGA fatigue, because MAGAs has proven that they are very, very dumb and they will never stop. They will never stop. Why won't the movies flop? Who were they expecting to? See, one thing is to play around with black people. The other one is to lose majority of the business you have. Mess around with them and find your business crumble. Sincerely speaking, if you are smart, you are supposed to know that boycotting American Ego will be one of the best things that will happen to you. Boycott them, Dunkin' Donuts too. Boycott all of their bots. I feel like America is going back in time, you know? Or has it just become more visible to us outside United States? But it's going back in time. You guys are like, you know, did they not see Old Navy? Was it Old Navy? The ones that, like, you know, showed classy black people. Very beautiful. The truth is that some people actually do not think that black people deserve to be great and all that. So when they, you know, they do some certain things, acts that they would have done in a way that would have been befitting, they decided to go the other way around to see how it would go with the other people. And now they are seeing the repercussions. I love to see it. Bye for now.